Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be taking a look at the entire Marvel Legends Monster Venom series. This series right here gives us essentially a whole bunch of symbiote costume characters. Symbiotes, awesome. We got a few other very cool figures in this wave, specifically that SpiderHam, which, oh my gosh, that right there is the one I particularly was waiting for in picking up this particular series. So, all of our figures look fantastic in those standard Marvel Legends boxes, but one of the unique things about this wave is that the boxes are white with like the black Venom symbiote kind of around the box. It actually looks really cool. It makes this wave really stand out and look a little bit different than the other Marvel Legends waves that are on store shelves. So enough with that packaging. Let's get these guys out of their boxes. We're gonna look at them one by one, and we're gonna start things off with our standard Venom action figure here. So we've had a Venom figure not that long ago. This particular one here, you can see if I bring in the tape measure, he is actually just shy of a full 7 inches tall, so he's actually quite a tall figure, but that's good. He should be a bit bigger than Spider-Man and some of those other characters. And I will say this right here, this is my Venom, my friends. I love the no tongue, a little bit more slimmed down. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. That's the way I have always preferred Venom to look, so I like this quite a bit. Paint deco is very, very sleek on this guy. Obviously, he's mostly just a solid black. It's real hard to mess that up. But he's got the white kind of Venom spider on there, which looks pretty clean, looks really nice. I love the eyes. I do have a little bit of, I got some paint chipping on the tops of both eyes there. I don't know if you can really see that. So that's a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, I think he's pretty great. I do love the sculpt of the head. It's kind of like that narrower face with the big teethy smile there. Very cool stuff. And articulation on this guy, here's what we got. We got that nice hinge joint at the neck, which is really great. Otherwise, we got a ball joint up there as well. Got nice ball joints at the shoulders. Arms can go forwards, backwards. We got swivels at the bicep, which are a bit loose on here. Nice double joints at the elbow, which got that great ratchet going on. You got tight swivels at the wrist, as well as the hinge joints on the wrist. There you go, just like that. You got a nice ratchet-like joint there at the torso, the ab crunch. You can also swivel at the waist. Nice ball-like hinges at the thighs. Legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards. We got tight swivels there at the thighs. Great double joints that also have that great ratchet going on there in the knees, nice and tight. Swivels at the boot cut. You got the ankle that can go forwards and backwards, as well as rock side to side. So exactly what I think you would expect to see on a Marvel Legends figure. Works out great for a character like Venom, and that's not all with him, because we do have some interchangeable pieces. Basically, we've got an interchangeable head. So that's one thing that really makes this Venom stand out from what we had before. Now, it just pops right off the ball joint. You can see very easy to do it there. And I love this because we got like this piece of the symbiote costume, which got a little piece that plugs onto his back. He's got 2 holes on his back, but the top small hole is what this plugs into. And then we can take the Eddie Brock head there and pop it on the ball joint just like that. And what that basically is it's like the Venom suit, the symbiote kind of coming off of his face. It's actually a really cool effect. It's a great head sculpt as well. Now, I don't know if this is just me or just my eye or whatever. The head almost looks a little too big proportion-wise for the body. I don't know. Like if we look at the Venom head next to it, obviously the Venom head is a little thinner, because that's the way it should look. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. It almost feels like the head's just a little bit too big for that torso. Still, it's a really nice sculpt though. It's a little loose. We got a little bit of a bobble going on there with that joint on the neck. But I do love this. I think this is very, very cool. So pretty neat new addition, new Venom to add to the lineup. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. This right here was what was most exciting to me about this wave. Like, I wanted this wave specifically for SpiderHam. Who would have thought that we would ever get a Marvel Legends SpiderHam action figure? And this guy is fantastic. I mean, the proportions are great. So he doesn't have the articulation, you know, like he's not super jointed in the legs, but that's because of his smaller stature, and I think they didn't want to really break up the sculpt. And you know what? Personally, I am okay with this. It's fine. So you're not going to get crazy poses out of his legs. You can just swivel him there at the boot cut. bit. He is ball jointed at the waist, so you can move his body around that way. He's got like the ball-like joints at the shoulders. He does have little joints at the elbows. There you go. So you can kind of bend his elbows there. You can swivel at his hands, and he's got the nice ball joint at the head there. You know, the ears are a bit pliable. They can move around, but man, it's really cool. And you know, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse getting ready to hit theaters, it's pretty cool because SpiderHam's kind of getting a little bit more attention now. Just so very cool. That's really all we get with this figure. He does come with the biggest portion, of course, of the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, which makes sense since he's a small little figure in a package. But he also comes with this. This is great. This is the pork grind head. And what this is for is, if we come right back over to that Venom figure that we just took a look at, let's pop off that Eddie Brock head there, and we can pop on this pork grind head. Look at that. Now we've got SpiderHam and pork grind. Holy cow, you guys. Since we just got another Venom not too long ago, honestly, this is probably how I will be displaying these on the figure shelf. I know it's a little weird paying like a full $20 price point for just SpiderHam, but you do get the big, huge torso for Monster Venom if you're going to do the Build-A-Figure, and you get this little extra head. And you know what? Man, I just love this figure. It's easily my favorite in this wave. Next up, we've got this character named Poison, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea who this was. I guess this is from a comic arc, like a Into the Venomverse type story arc, where in an alternate dimension of some sort, essentially this is Spider-Man taken over by this Poison symbiote. So it's a really cool looking character. I will say that it's actually a really neat looking figure. You can see he's got some really cool sculpted details. I really like the way he looks. It's very almost pointed and sharp with a lot of those angles and everything sculpted in. He's made of like this pearlized white plastic, so he's got a bit of this marbly shine to it. Does have a little bit of that marbleization we see sometimes in the shiny figures from Hasbro and Marvel Legends, but he's highlighted with like all this silver, so it just really gives him this glistening, shiny look. And I don't know if that comes across too good on camera, but it's a really neat look for the figure. And then he's got like the black spider there. You'll notice he's like reverse colors of Venom, right? He's white with black instead of black with white, so that's kind of neat. But I like the way that the like tendrils are like coming off of the spider legs there. That is pretty cool. It makes for a neat looking character. These are pliable. They don't really move or come off or anything like that. So the joints are exactly what you'd expect, I think. You got the hinge joint at the neck. You got the ball joint there. We got real tight ball joints at the shoulders. Look at that. Ugh, like those tight ratchets there. But we got good swivels there at the bicep, double joints at the elbow, swivels at the wrist. You got hinge joints on the wrist with these like pointed fingers, which is great. Still got the ab crunch. You got the waist swivel. Got real tight joints there at the thighs. Love those tight joints on this one. It's really nice. Double joints at the knees, swivels at the boot cut, and good ankles there that go side to side as well as forwards and backwards. So, don't know much about him. Hey, he's a symbiote. He's a cool character. He looks neat. Next up, we've got Typhoid Mary, nice older villain. I think this is the first time we've seen her in Marvel Legends, at least from Hasbro specifically. So this particular version of her, she's wearing kind of like the leather jacket. I love the shoulder pads. That looks great. She's got the half white face. The half of her leg over here looks like she's wearing like fishnets. Now that's just all painted detail, and you do have that kind of thing going on where the lines don't match up on the inside of her leg. Not that big of a deal, but worth pointing out. And of course, they painted it to look like it's all torn, so it looks like torn fishnets. It's fine. It doesn't, I mean, it looks a little cheesy. I mean, it doesn't really look like fishnets, but you know, it works out fine. Otherwise, I think the sculpt is great. I love like the white corset she's got going on there. Just a really nice pose. The hair looks really good. And then she's got this sword accessory, which does have a removable flame effect, so that just kind of slides right over the blade, just like I had it there, which looks really nice. And if we take that sword out of her hand there, otherwise, the head's going to be hindered slightly by the hair. The hair's actually a little stiff on the back, but does have nice ball joints there in the shoulders, forwards, backwards movement, slightly hindered by those shoulder pads, but I don't think it's enough to really matter too much. You got the bend and the swivel there at the ball joint at the elbow, which is really nice. You do have the hinge joints on the wrist there as well. You got nice kind of ball joint there in the torso. So no ab crunch, but that works good for the female figure specifically so that we don't break up the sculpt too bad. Nothing at the waist, so that basically just works as the way to turn her side to side as well. Ball-like hinge joints at the thighs, but that right there, that's as far as the legs come outwards. I guess it's the sculpt there is preventing the legs from coming out any further than that. We can swivel there at the thighs, double joints at the knee. The tops of the boots, they're just like this little extra piece. It's kind of clever because it looks good, but they move around a lot. So it's kind of funny that her boots move around like that. And then you can just move the ankles up and down and rock them side to side. But still, really cool to see like this classic villain brought into the Marvel Legends lineup. Then we've got Scream. Man, how 90s does this feel, right? I mean, this really brings back some memories. Got some Maximum Carnage or like, what was that video game? Separation Anxiety. Yeah, the Venom symbiote stuff were everywhere there in the late 90s. I guess we're going through a little bit of a new age of like Venom hype and everything with his movie recently. But yeah, Scream looks fantastic. I love it. I kind of love getting some of these classic 90s characters like this. The hair is awesome. Love the red down the middle there. Great sculpt on that. She looks fantastic. I mean, she's just a really great looking figure. Love those big hands with the pointed fingers there. Articulation is the same as the others. Very, very nice there. Shoulders ball jointed, swivels at the elbow. Great, just single joint at the elbow, but we can also swivel there at the elbow as well. We got the nice hinge joints there at the wrists. Got a nice ball joint there at the torso. Legs, again, just like with Typhoid Mary, that's about as far out as they're going to go. But you can go forwards and backwards pretty good. Swivels at the thigh. Nice tight double joints at the knees. Nice rocker ankles as well as good tight ankle joints that allow for forwards and backwards movement. So she doesn't really come with any other accessories. But man, she is such a cool looking figure. I like her. Keeping those classic 90s vibes going here. Carnage! Carnage is back. Now, we've had a Carnage figure from Hasbro already, but let's look at this guy here as he is on his own. Little bit different. Honestly, this one's pretty cool because he does come with some really, really neat attachments. Plus, I really love, look at how crazy all the tendrils and everything are coming off of this guy. Now, he's got this one on his back that's removable. This is pretty cool. Look at that. Just a little peg joint there. So you can take that off if you don't want all that excess wackiness going on there, but I like it. I think it's cool. It really makes his suit look, just a little untamed and a little crazy, just like he is, which is pretty cool. You got this big clawed hand over here. He does also come with a normal hand like this, so, it matches up with his left hand there. So that's just on like a little peg. You can pop the wrist out. Tight. There we go. Real tight. That's really good, though. And then, you can just pop the other one in its place. Or if you want to swap the right hand out, he's also got this other hand, which is making this big old blade out of his crazy symbiote. Look at that. I love he still has the hand, but then it's like stretching outwards and making this great big blade, which is very, very cool. And we've got an interchangeable head with this one. Much like we had the Eddie Brock head for Venom, we've got Cletus Cassidy here for Carnage, so we can pop that on. Sometimes that ball joint just rolls around, though. You gotta, there we go. And it is a really fantastic head sculpt. I mean, look how totally insane this guy looks with those creepy eyes and that big smile. Yeah, it's a pretty cool Carnage figure. So there are some great new inclusions with this guy. I know you might already have a Carnage in your collection, but hey, it's pretty cool looking for sure. And if you collect all the figures in this wave, the Build-A-Figure is Monster Venom, which is a different take on Venom. This one, you can see, he stands at 7 inches tall, but he is like big and bulky. I mean, this dude is huge. A lot different. I told you that my preference for Venom was like the skinnier one with no tongue. Just look at these two side by side so you can see the difference. I still have Pork Grind's head on there, but you get the idea. This one's more jet black. This one's got more of that shiny metallic blue tone to it. So a little bit different there in the overall look. The Venom spider is much different. He's got the huge open jaw with the crazy tongue on there. He's got like the little Venom tendrils coming off his back. He's a really cool looking figure, and he is so big and hefty. Look how chunky this dude is in my hand, which is really, really cool. So the head can turn left and right, slightly up and down. Since he's got that big hunched back, obviously the head more kind of cocked side to side than it does look left and right. He does have the ball joints at the shoulder, so the arms go forwards and backwards. We got the nice swivels there at the bicep, big tight joints at the elbow, swivels and hinges at the wrist. We got the torso joint there, the swivel at the waist. You got the nice ball joints at the thighs, swivels at the thighs. You got double joints at the knees there. Oh man, real tight joints. Look at that. We can even, it's like he's got a boot cut even though he's not wearing a boot. And then the ankles can go up and down and side to side. And the Build-A-Figure pieces are like, they're tight on this guy. They're fitting together really good. And man, this dude is huge. Got to find balance sometimes because his upper body is so big, but it's not too hard to do so. And it really does make for one big hulking monster Venom to add to your collection. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the Monster Venom wave of Hasbro's Marvel Legends line. If you like symbiotes, this is a great one. If you've always wanted a Spider-Ham like me, boom, we got him, which is still blowing my mind. I also love some of the character selection here. I mean, come on, get that classic-looking Venom. You get Scream, you get Carnage. You can create your own separation anxiety video game display. It's pretty cool stuff if you're into the symbiotes. I gotta give a very special thanks to the folks at Hasbro because they provided the figures for the purposes of this review. This wave's been out for a little while. Maybe you guys already have it in your collection, but if not, check your local stores and grab a set for yourself. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.